First game I'm gonna be predicting is the Chargers versus the Chiefs. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you like content like this, subscribe, because I post high quality videos on all the major sports leagues. So yeah, Chargers versus Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Chargers here, and I feel like the key is when is the Chargers gonna get those stops, because if you can even just get a little bit of pressure at Mahomes, then just watch out. But the main thing for their defense is if their secondary can hold up. In the past, they've gotten torched because of their secondary. I think the Chiefs can actually deal with their defensive line. But the thing is, because in the past, the Kansas City could just pass it over and over and over again, and the Chargers could just know what they're doing, but yet still not be able to stop it. This year, I think it will be different because of J.C. Jackson in the secondary. Palmer, they got Derwin James. I feel like the Chargers offense is good enough. It's basically the shootout last year if Patrick Mahomes wasn't unstoppable. I don't think he's going to be unstoppable. And I don't even think, because if they had a good run game, then they could just, if their pass game isn't working, they can just run the ball. And the Chiefs defense just got worse. So I think the Chargers are going to do a shootout, and the Chiefs aren't going to be able to keep up with them. Look for like a 45-28 final score. Next, the Lions versus the Commanders. I am a Lions fan. I have us taking an L. Last year, there was so many games where we were just close with the good teams, but then we just randomly laid a dud against bad teams, and I don't think we're quite ready. Can't consistently pass the ball. Sure, we have a nice passing offense, but the QB isn't good enough. We don't have Jameson Williams back and stuff, and we're just not good enough. So carried by the run, and the only time when our passing offense is good is when we go against the trash secondary, or if it complements the run game. The only way that our pass game works is if it complements the run game. I think even though we probably have one of the best offensive linemen in the league, there's still some injuries to VVD or whatever his name is, and I feel like Washington's defensive line is going to be the key, because I feel like they have one of the rare rushing defenses that can stop us. I feel like with Allen and all their other defensive linemen, along with their linebackers, I feel like they have the defense to stop our running game. And it's not like last week when we try to pass and stuff, it'll be like easy, because their defensive line is double-edged swords. It can also make sacks and stuff. And of course, I feel like the Lions defense, if the Lions defense don't have offense, they get blown out, and I feel like it's not going to be as bad. They're going to put up some stops, but they're not going to be able to handle Washington's offense, and that D-line is going to stop the Lions. Give me like a 27-13 win here for the Commanders. Vikings versus Eagles. I got the Eagles here, and I know they had trouble with Detroit, but I feel like that was a little bit of a fluke, and with their running game, I feel like Jalen Hurts had a little bit more pressure. This week, Jalen Hurts is also going to need a pass, but I think it's going to be much easier for him because their defensive line, I think the Vikings defensive line is solid, but it's not as good as the Lions. I don't think you might call that a hot take, and I feel like we all know that if Jalen Hurts just has less pressure, he can do good, because I don't really think the Vikings pass defense is as good, because they have terrible secondary, and I feel like they're just going to eat him up. And even it doesn't matter if Jalen Hurts misses all of his throws. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are going to burn those receivers so much that's not even going to be funny. It's going to be a shootout. And when it comes to shootouts, the Vikings, they're pretty good at close game shootouts, but they eventually lose. Do you really trust the Vikings with their history, and like whoever makes the biggest play on defense wins? No, it's going to be a huge shootout. But the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, I do think Kirk Cousins is better than Jalen Hurts, but I trust Jalen Hurts in the clutch more in terms of defense. Who causes more turnovers? Oh yeah, the Eagles. I feel like Cousins is going to throw a couple picks, but it's going to be very, very close. Give me a 45-38 win here. Panthers versus Giants. Give me the Panthers. I know that they beat the Titans, but that's not that impressive. The only way that you can beat the Titans offense is if you make them pass. That's the only way that the Giants defense can ever be good, is when you make them pass. I think that's a fluke. That was a fluke. Baker Mayfield is great against deep shot teams, and he's one of those mediocre quarterbacks that can beat bad secondaries. I feel like the Giants secondary is so bad that they're going to be forced to pass, and they don't have Ryan Tannehill, because the only way the Giants defense can be good is if they somehow have a terrible quarterback playing and their defense actually gets pressure. This time I think they're going to get pressure, but I don't really feel like the Panthers pass offense is that bad. Give me a 21-7 win here. Indianapolis versus Jacksonville. I'm actually going to go Jacksonville. Now, at first in my season predictions video, I picked Indianapolis, but let me explain. Their pass offense is so god-awful, and even if they get forced to pass, I feel like they could probably pass it on the Jaguars. But then again, it is Matt Ryan. I feel like with the newfound pressure, if you actually stop their running game, then it's going to be terrible. It's a terrible passing offense. We saw that against the Texans, and their secondary is weak. And the Texans, no disrespect for the Texans passing offense, but I don't really think the Texans passing offense is that good. And you could just watch, when you're watching them, you know that their secondary is folding. You're just thinking, wow, imagine if they have a good passing offense. And I do think that the Jacksonville's passing offense should be respected. So I think they're going to have a big day against that secondary. Jacksonville's D-line with Trevion Walker with the speed and Josh Allen, along with some of those defensive tackles, like they actually, the defensive line to shut them down. Not completely, which is why I do think that they're going to score a decent amount of points. And the Colts secondary is going to get torched. Give me Jacksonville winning 27-20 here. Dolphins versus Ravens. Give me the Ravens here. I'm not really that afraid of the Dolphins D-line to stop Lamar Jackson, okay? I do feel like they do have a possibility to beat them if they stop down the run and force Lamar to pass, because whenever Lamar has to pass against a really good secondary, it goes bad. And well, because if their defense doesn't play good, they're screwed, because I feel like Tua, with how shaky he is and stuff, this is the perfect defense to beat Tua. They're going to pressure him so much and he's not going to know what to do. And this is pre-injury Ravens defense. People forget just how good those secondary is. I feel like Tua gets underwhelmed, and if the Dolphins defense can stop down the Ravens offense, I still feel like it's pretty rare, not likely for the Dolphins to win. Give me Baltimore winning 17-6 here. Browns versus the Jets. You know, the Browns. The Jets got one of the worst run defenses in the league. Don't really think they're going to stop Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Their offense is going to run hog wild on them, and while I do think it's going to be closer because the Cleveland's defense is trash, come on. It's like, with the QBs, if they can force a bunch of turnovers against Baker Mayfield, I'm pretty sure they can do that against the Jets. They cannot stop Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Fantasy, I'm glad that I'm starting him. Give me the Browns winning 27-10 here. Tampa Bay versus Buccaneers. You might call me a little bit of an week one overreactor, but I'd actually like the Saints here because they always beat them. Do you know how good the Saints secondary is? And Tom Brady, I do feel like he's really good, but again, he's usually slow to start the year. So you need Tom Brady to pass on the offense with them. And I feel like that Saints defense game was a fluke. And did you see how bad Tom Brady looked against Dallas? And you might call me an overactor, but I feel like Tampa Bay's passing offense, they're going to have to get leaned on. And I feel like the Saints are actually built to stop them. I think they're going to be more ready out the gate. Give me them like 20-17. Usually I'd say, well, it's a defensive battle. I trust Tom Brady more than Jameis Winston, except it's not. I feel like the Bucs defense is regressing. As long as New Orleans defense doesn't shit the bed, I feel like they're going to be pretty good. Tom Brady has a really enough night, does a couple of turnovers. I don't feel like they're going to get swept this year, but yeah, New Orleans defense is going to go hog wild if they can't do good against the Cowboys defense. And I don't know, look for Alvin Kamara to do good. There is a possibility that the Bucs can win if their defense shows up, but I feel like it's going to be the key for their defense. Too much disadvantages for the Bucs. Give me the Saints here. Give me them like 20-17. 49ers Seahawks. Give me the 49ers. I know I feel like it was against the run. Denver's run defense is notorious for being awful, and I feel like, well, if they didn't have the running game, then they wouldn't bring so much blitz. And credit to Geno for avoiding the scrambling, but a lot of it came from him taking advantage from the blitz from the secondary and the run game opening up, and a lot of lucky penalties. And he didn't really even though he did get pressure, it allowed him to dissect the defense, and the pressure didn't really get there enough because Bradley Chubb was the only one doing anything. This week, I don't really feel like that's the case because I feel like all of those three things are going to be bad. One, the blitzing. I feel like they're a good enough defensive team to actually have good defensive schemes. Nathaniel Hackett's not that good against the Seahawks last night. I feel like they're going to be disciplined enough because a lot of it was disciplined and scheming. And credit Geno Smith to tearing him apart. You can't just have a half-ass plan against him. But I feel like the 49ers defense is going to be disciplined, and when they get pressure, they're actually going to take a sack. Do you really trust Geno to go under all that pressure? But it's basically that on steroids. And number 3, the 49ers run defense is a lot better. You got 4 great, strong people, and the Seahawks offensive line didn't look good. There was constant holding penalties or almost holding penalties. I feel like they were on the brink of being terrible. I feel like the 49ers defense is good enough for that. I feel like this is going to be a defensive battle, not Trey Lance, because like they got a lot of pressure against Russell Wilson, but Debo's going to take control. I feel like it's going to be probably a shutout because I feel like San Francisco is so well dealt for this that I feel like Trey Lance doesn't really have to do that much. Give me the 49ers winning 16-0. Raiders Cardinals. Give me the Raiders here. the Raiders, their offense looks surprisingly decent, and I know the Chargers got a lot of pressure, but their offensive line wasn't as bad. And what do the Cardinals lack? Defense. They got some pressure, but not much. They're much more in the second level if you break free, making plays from blitzing, and I feel like Derek Carr's good enough to dissect that. Also got a running game. And if they cannot stop, like, the Chiefs wide receivers and Travis Kelce, then good luck with the Raiders, because I feel like it wasn't so much the quarterback or, like, their defense, the Cardinals. It was just like they couldn't cover for a damn thing, and the only way they really be super good against the Raiders is their pressure. And even when they got pressure, when the Chargers gave them pressure, they weren't even that bad. So I feel like the Cardinals defense is in for a rough night, because they actually got weapons this time, and if they can't cover, it was more so that they couldn't cover the Chiefs guys, they're not going to be able to cover the Raiders guys. And also, if you finally learn how to stop the pass, I don't think the Cardinals defensive coordinator and the defense has enough talent to deal with their double-edged threat. Josh Jacobs, he's still very underrated. He was in a bad situation last year, and I feel like if their pass game gets shut down, he's gonna run. And of course, you do got Kyler Murray. I do feel like the Cardinals offense is a lot better, but I feel like I don't know, the Raiders defense is gonna get those turnovers. And because I feel like the Raiders are gonna do a shootout against them, do you really trust the Cardinals in a shootout? No. I feel like the Cardinals have no pressure, meaning that they can't bail out their terrible secondary, meaning that the Raiders are gonna outdo them. Those Cowboys, I'm kidding. Give me the Bengals. Yeah, I already would have picked the Bengals because of their secondary is just so bad. The Cowboys, Trevon Diggs got exposed, and Jamar Chase and all those people. I don't trust Dak Prescott to win you shootouts, let alone whatever backup quarterback they have. Give me the Bengals 24-9 here. I mean, no, 31-9. Since Broncos, give me the Broncos. I feel like that was a fluke, because if you don't account for all the field goals and missed field goals, they'd have like 35 points. I do fear for Russell Wilson's deep passing game a little bit, but he's really great at showing what he got. And Javonte Williams, I thought it was overrated. Wow, that's really good. And the Texans' defensive line might be one of the worst defensive line I've ever seen. If Russell Wilson was decent at taking what he got against the Seahawks, we're on the road, I feel like against the Texans, even if it is on the road, NRG isn't exactly too opposing, he's going to take what he's got more again, and Javonte Williams might get 200 yards rushing this week. I don't really feel like he's going to get as unlucky. Plus, they're going up against double agents as defensive line. Whenever Russell didn't have pressure, he can air it deep. I feel like he's going to take what he's got, and the running game is going to be so good. Yeah, I feel like they're not going to get as unlucky. Javonte Williams is going to run all over them. Russell Wilson is not going to be as bad. And the Seahawks win 35-16. Buffalo versus Tennessee. The only reason why they could stop him was because of the pressure. They've lost all their good defensive linemen. I feel like, again, the Titans defense gets shut down when they actually face a good double-edged threat. Because when the team just passes against them, they have enough pressure to deal with that. And when they just run against them, well, their defensive line's good enough for that, I guess. This time, their defensive line is terrible. Imagine as bad of a secondary as the Titans going up against Josh Allen. He's gonna pick them apart. It's gonna be not even really that close. Give me the Bills 34-12. That's a weird score, but sue me. Bears versus Packers. The Packers win. I still own you. Oh, said it, Caleb. I forgot to do the Patriots. Steelers. Patriots are winning that one. 20-13. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys can look back on my season predictions if you want. Or you can check out a video that YouTube recommends. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, subscribe. I know this video is a longer video, but I'm gonna try to post shorter ones. But yeah, bye.